Sanctuary, Levites, and Garments of the Priests. Part 2, compiled by Shirley Jean Street and read by Wayne T. Street. Our God is the same yesterday and today and forever. Hebrews 13, verse 8. When he pronounces evil against a nation or an individual because of their wickedness, if they turn from their wrongdoing, God says he will repent of the evil he thought to do unto them. And as in the case of Levi, a blessing will come instead of the curse. Jeremiah 18, verses 7 to 10. The term Levite was applied to all the priests, but only the descendants of Aaron were to hold the sacred office. The remainder of the tribe were to do the service of the sanctuary under the direction of the priests. They were not allowed to officiate at the altar of burnt offering, nor to burn incense, nor to do any of the priest's work within the veil. The Levites were to serve or minister to the priests, but the priests were to minister for the people before the Lord. Numbers 18, verses 1 to 7. The Levites were consecrated to the work of the sanctuary by the laying on of hands by the whole assembly of Israel. And then Aaron offered them before the Lord for an offering of the children of Israel. Numbers 8, verses 9 to 14. The Levites were chosen by the Lord instead of the firstborn of Israel. Numbers 8, verses 17 and 18. While journeying in the wilderness, they carried all that pertained to the tabernacle. But although they bore the sacred furniture, they were never permitted even to look upon it. Numbers 4, verse 20. After the temple was built, the Levites were assigned the work of waiting on the priests in the sanctuary service. They prepared the showbread, often led the singing, collected the tithe, and did a large amount of work in connection with the service of the Lord. 1 Chronicles 23, verses 24 to 32. In the time of David, the Levites began to serve in the sanctuary at the age of 25. At age 50, they were to return from the warfare of service. Numbers 4, verse 20. They were not discharged. They still had an oversight of the work, but were not expected to perform strenuous duties. The work of the Levites was largely confined to the court, and thus typified the work of the gospel ministry of the present day. Type and antitype. The Levites, Christ's disciples. Numbers 18, verses 1 to 7. The Levites served under the priests in the court of the sanctuary. Matthew 28, verses 19 and 20. Christ's ministers are to go to all the world, the antitypical court. 2 Chronicles 35, verse 3, and chapter 30, verse 22, the Levites were teachers in Israel. Matthew 28, verse 19, Jesus commissioned his disciples to teach all nations. Garments of the priests. The priest's garment, Jesus's garment.